Don't let their cheering fool you. They're dead inside right now. But this is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney parks all around the world. Now, before we get to the news, I have to mention today's sponsor, so please put the pitchforks down while I do an ad, and then we'll pick them right back up, I promise. But today's show is brought to you by WaitTimeSigns.com. Are you constantly looking for ways to bring the magic of the parks back into your home long after your vacation ends? Well, maybe you check wait times at home. You listen to music on repeat from the parks. WaitSigns.com, I said their URL wrong, but it's WaitSigns.com, just released their brand new wait time display, which recreates the nostalgia of the Disney Resort Hotel experience in your own home. And when you turn on the device, you're greeted by a personalized welcome message, just as if you were checking in. So I think if I tap to enter here, we're going to take the monorail. And there it goes, it took us in. You get your very own resort channel, which displays actual park hours and special event times. We're looking at the wait times right now. But we could certainly look at, if we look at Orlando, and there we go, we got our park hours. And just like their fully working wait time signs that we showed you a couple days ago, these wait time displays show the actual live wait times for your favorite attractions, at least until Disney closes them. And you can even park hop on the monorail to see even more wait times with just a tap. There's even a fully customized vacation countdown fireworks show to get you excited for your next trip, you know, the one where you'll see all of those for the last time. But perhaps the coolest feature is the virtual terrace that displays an actual live stream of the Orlando skyline while the Magic Kingdom and EPCOT fireworks shows are going on. So it's like having your own Orlando area apartment, which means you're even closer to the Depression. These are a great gift for the Disney Parks fan in your life who already owns everything they sell at the park. So head on over to WaitSigns.com. That is WaitSigns.com, not what I said at the beginning. And use code NEWS15 for 15% off your order today. That, and you probably want to get all the tissues, just a lot of tissues this Christmas, as it'll be our last Christmas with everything you grew up with. But now, here now the news for November 22nd, 2024. Walt Disney World has announced that MuppetVision 3D is permanently closing at Disney's Hollywood Studios. No! Additionally, the Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith attraction will no longer star Aerosmith. Instead, the Muppets will be taking a super stretch limo to the other side of the park to take over the indoor roller coaster. MuppetVision 3D is again closing to make way for the Monsters, Inc. land that was announced at D23. The new land was originally slated to take over the Star Wars Launch Bay area. Plans changed reportedly sometime before the announcement was made at the event in August. But the Monsters, Inc. roller coaster rumor, of course, lay dormant for years until we reported it this summer, eventually, again, confirmed by Disney at the event. Disney has already, some quick notes on MuppetVision. Disney has already digitized the MuppetVision film. It's been a digital version playing at the attraction for over a decade now and has assured us that it will be preserved, stating, quote, "We are having creative conversations and exploring ways to preserve the film and other parts of the experience for fans to enjoy in the future." That being said, there is no guarantee, this is me speaking at this point, there's no guarantee it will ever be seen in an attraction setting ever again once it does close. The Grand Avenue / Muppets Courtyard area that MuppetVision currently occupies will become Mostropolis from Monsters Incorporated. In addition to the previously announced suspended coaster inspired by the door system in the original film, the land will have dining, shopping, and more. It will also have a theater attraction for which details have not yet been announced, which is taking over the space that is currently occupied by MuppetVision 3D. Based on the concept art, Harryhausen's from Monsters, Inc. will be taking over the footprint of Mama Melrose's Ristorante Italiano. Meanwhile, Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith will soon be featuring music's biggest stars for a rockin' music festival. The Muppets will take over the top billing at the indoor roller coaster. Details, including the extent of the transformation, are unknown at this time. Of course, rumors swirled of a Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem reimagining after the creator of the Muppets Mayhem Disney Plus series said that he pitched a retheme back in June. It won't just be Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, though. The poster released for the new Rock and Roller Coaster also features Kermit the Frog and Miss Piggy, so we assume all your favorite Muppets will be there. Meanwhile, Rock Around the Shop, the exit gift shop, and we assume the cart outside will be given to the Muppets as well, providing a home for Muppets merchandise, which there has not been since the Stage 1 company store closed with COVID back in 2020. The only other version of Rock and Roller Coaster in the world, which was at Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris, closed back in 2019 to make way for Avengers Assemble Flight Force. And here's hoping whatever they do is better than that thing, because it's awful. Rock and Roller Coaster, of course, has been under scrutiny for a while after assault accusations were made against Aerosmith's frontman Steven Tyler back in 2022. The rumors began again in the summer of 2024 when the band announced its immediate retirement. But again, no closing date has been announced for either MuppetVision 3D nor Rock and Roller Coaster. But Disney has said that guests will have enough time to catch a super stretch limo to the Forum to enjoy Rock and Roller Coaster and to see MuppetVision again before the curtain call is held. Let's do one more. We're going to talk about the concept art, and then I will go into the rant. There is a rant today. But let's talk about this first. Disney also released new concept art for the Monsters, Inc. land, this one where it's actually going, showing us a clearer picture of what we can expect. Of course, you remember 2 pieces were released at D23, which led to a lot of confusion. One of them was kind of where it's going now. The other was absolutely the launch bay / animation building, which is why everyone's been arguing for a long time. But starting from the land's entrance and working our way back, guests will pass under the archway from Grand Avenue and find themselves in Mostropolis, where monsters work, play, and live. To the left is the former Gonzo's Royal Flush restrooms, now sporting a more monstrous appearance with teeth added to the roofing. And at the center of this first area is a new fountain, replacing that of Miss Piggy as the Statue of Liberty. Instead, the fountain sculpture is now a giant eyeball. And looking over at the former home of MuppetVision, the concept art shows the theater, now known as the Monstro, with a large eye at the center of the marquee that advertises late-night screams. To the right, the large clock tower also sports an eye motif around the clock face. And to the left, along the roof line, is a billboard advertising Monsters, Inc., with 2 monsters holding laugh canisters. And across the open walkway is the former Pizza Rizzo, which will presumably close to make way for something new. It's unknown at this time what that will be. But along the roof is another billboard reading "We're Monsters, Inc." featuring Mike and Sully. And goodbye to Rat Pizza, the neon sign we all love. It's also clear based on this concept art that the Stage 1 company store will be demolished to make for more room in the center of the land. Traveling further inside, we pass by several trees to come to what is currently It's a Wonderful Shop, which is also likely to close, though it's been pretty much closed since COVID anyway, other than housing some Santa meet and greets. And on the roof is another billboard, this one for the Monsters, Inc. laugh floor, which of course is currently in Tomorrowland at the Magic Kingdom. Much of the billboard art in this concept art is placeholder visuals. These are the pieces you've seen before in other places. And so I don't know that I believe they're going to just move the laugh floor into MuppetVision. That attraction is at this point, that attraction's pretty old. It's coming up on its 20th anniversary in about 3 years' time. Hard to believe that. But it's not necessarily the most popular attraction of the Magic Kingdom, so I would be thoroughly surprised if that's the case. But we will have to wait and see exactly what this theater offering will be. Again, all we've been told today is there is a theater attraction that is part of Monstropolis, and we have been told nothing more beyond that. Continuing on, we come to the entrance of Harryhausen's, the sushi restaurant from the first film, where Mike Wazowski takes Celia on a date. And based on this concept art, it's clear this is going to replace Mama Melrose's, though it does seem to use some of its facade along the street. Of course, the end of the building is actually shaped more like the Harryhausen's facade you see in the film, with the 2 chopsticks forming the entryway. And at the top of the building, the 2 chopsticks cross to hold an eyeball. And walking all the way back into the land, guests will come upon the entrance to the factory itself, which of course will be home to that suspended coaster representing the door chase sequence from the movie. The M-shaped building towers overhead with multiple smokestacks on either side. There's a lot to digest here. The first thing I want to talk about is, number one, I have to eat some crow, or in this case, some penguin, or chicken in case of Camilla. So obviously, no one was talking. The Monsters, Inc. door rumor the door roller coaster rumor goes back to the mid to late 2000s. And it began when Toy Story Mania opened and everyone walked down the rest of Pixar Place and you turned around and you saw this arch which had the detailing, a lot of what you see in this concept art, which is absolutely Monsters, Inc. And everyone turned around and went, yep, it's happening. And it was set to happen. And it came very close to announcement, and then for some reason, it never happened. And so they were going to knock down that building next to Toy Story Mania, or maybe even have used that soundstage for this attraction. I think there's art floating around of them using the soundstage instead. And so you would have continued on Pixar Place, and that would have been there. And that didn't happen for whatever reason. And eventually that became the third track of Toy Story Mania. But for years, of course, the rumors continued. And then it went quiet for a long, long time until last summer. And last summer, everyone had their prediction posts out. Nobody had Monsters, Inc. door coaster except us. And so that got announced at D23. And so when your sources provide you something like that, and it's a pretty big thing to suddenly out of nowhere 15 years later to pan out, you trust your sources at that point. Now, obviously, one of the pieces of concept art you saw at D23 was absolutely the animation building. It had the whole little entrance, that silver finish that's on that, I don't know what to call it, that awning that's on the front of the building. You saw that. That's absolutely the art from that period in time. I assume the Muppets courtyard version, that other piece of art that they showed, was probably developed real close to D23 happening when they decided that was a better place for this. And so that's what happened here. So yeah, our rumor didn't pan out fully, but that's what happens with these things. They are rumors, and things change before they're officially announced, and they change after they're officially announced, too, in the case of like the Little Mermaid show, which is delayed like almost a whole year, or the case of, let's not forget New Fantasyland, which had 2 whole attractions that vanished after they were announced and replaced with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. So this is an evolving process, but as a news source, we like to bring you rumors because as fans, it's fun. And so they don't always fully pan out. Another one that comes to mind is we announced that Tron was definitely going to happen, but we had heard the Speedway would be removed as part of that. The Speedway stayed, but we called the Tron part, but these things are always evolving. But either way, we were not right when we said that, and I mean, we might have been a long time ago, but we are not correct now, and so the correction is being made. Regardless, I want to break down this decision a bit. Now, Disney parks, there are a number of Disney parks with these sort of back corners where there's a show attraction, and it doesn't really draw people anymore. A great example would be Disneyland's Country Bear Jamboree. They opened that attraction in '72, and pretty much from the moment it opened, they had the hardest time getting people back there. And that's in an era where people actually sat for show attractions. In today's day and age, people don't even, it feels like people don't. People don't have the attention span, it feels, to sit through these things, and so they don't. So they're like, oh, I want to do all the rides. And they're like, oh, 3D show, I don't know if I want to see that. Regardless of the quality, right? Because there is no arguing that MuppetVision, I think still to this day, the greatest 3D show that the theme park genre has ever produced. There's no touching it, and I still think that it's the greatest thing. It's the magnum opus of Jim Henson's career. It's everything he had learned to that point, and it is, if you ever had to explain to people what the Muppets were, and you only had a short amount of time to do so, the one piece of media you should show them is MuppetVision. I think in about 15 minutes, you know everything you need to know about those characters, about the comedy style of the Muppets, and who they are and what they do. But so you have this big dead corner, and Muppets is a legendary attraction, a classic, and something that should be preserved, but you also have this dead end that you have to do something with. You have to get people back here somehow. And so putting the weenie, as they would have called it in Walt's time, the thing that would draw people to the back, all the way back there, which is what they're doing. The show building for the Monsters, Inc. coaster, you see it in the concept art, is butting up against the Rise of the Resistance show building. And if you go to studios now, you can see where this is. You walk down there and there's just this steel frame sitting there. It's been sitting there for several months, which again indicates how late this decision was made to put it in the Muppets courtyard area, because clearly they started to rebuild the facade back there and then realized, oh, that's not going to happen. And they stopped construction and just left that steel frame sitting there. That's not the framework for Monsters, Inc. That has nothing to do with it. That's just something that started and no one told them what was happening. Other signs that no one told them was happening, they just spent a bunch of money in MuppetVision not very long ago. You may remember they switched to high-def projection mapping for the Waldo C graphic bit where he start my own football team, and yeah, that whole bit. And they replaced the seats after we complained about how dirty the seats were for years. Those are wonderful things that should be commended. And look, either way, it's wonderful that this attraction is not going to limp over the finish line like Splash Mountain did. Splash Mountain was an embarrassment when it finished because half the thing did not work. Not at Disneyland. At Disneyland, they took a lot of pride in it and were maintaining up until the end. At Disney World, like by the last ride, like Rare Fox's jaw was hanging off. And it was very sad. In this case, this deserves a fitting farewell, and I'm glad that, albeit the work of these wonderful people that they put in during the last year of this attraction will not get to be experienced for long. It will be appreciated by the people who will get to remember this attraction as it was in its best form, which is honestly the form it's in right now. That's a wonderful thing. But yeah, you have to get people back here. These parks have to operate, regardless of historical significance, but I will get to that. These parks have to operate. And so putting Monsters, Inc. back there and having something to draw people into this corner is great. And also on a side note, I love Monsters, Inc., and I cannot wait to eat at Harryhausen's. That is a thing I couldn't have imagined when the movie came out 20 years ago, because in that era, Disney was not replicating restaurants from movies, really. You didn't really get to have those opportunities so much. And so it's really cool to be alive in a time where that's going to happen. Now, the part that's not fun to be alive in is the part where we're getting rid of MuppetVision 3D. I'm going to have to beat Disney up a little bit for this one, because this is a short-sighted mistake. Now, I don't care about the building. That building is irrelevant. It's a brick building. Like, there's a lot of charm and it's cool, but you can move this thing. Like, you can move MuppetVision. And what would be really neat is, I don't know, if where you were re-theming Rock and Roller Coaster, maybe you had built a theater. Maybe it's like right behind it. And it's a big empty box, kind of, where you could put anything in it. And it turns out, because the building exists, it wouldn't cost a lot of money to move this. You have the animatronics, you have all the pieces, you have all the decor. Yeah, maybe you got to build a couple fake brick walls, but in the end, it would not be very expensive. Oh wait, you do have that because you have the Sunset Showcase Theater behind Rock and Roller Coaster. The problem there is they have this villain show coming next year that's already announced and very much in development. Obviously, again, these things shifted. Let's talk about the Rock and Roller Coaster thing real quick. We're not going to pretend this has been in development forever, because it hasn't. This was people really don't like that we're going to close MuppetVision, it turns out, because a lot of people believed it. It turned out to be true. A lot of people are going to be very upset, so we better find something to do with the Muppets, and this is the knee-jerk reaction. Now, should this have been the plan all along if they were going to get rid of MuppetVision? Absolutely. I don't know why it would take them so long to figure this out, but the cool thing here is with the Muppets, more people are going to see them than ever. You're giving them one of the major e-tickets at Walt Disney World, the most visited theme park destination on Earth. And they're going to be in one of the highlight attractions. Like, thousands and thousands and thousands of people a day, if not an hour, are going to see the Muppets because they're hosting Rock and Roller Coaster now. That's really cool. I like that a lot. I'm really excited to see this overlay if it's done well. I really hope the money is spent. But the problem is MuppetVision. The problem is that it is the same way we ranted about the Country Bears, that it was Walt's last laugh, that it was developed by Mark Davis, it was meant for Mineral King, but it became pretty much the only thing on opening day Disney World that was truly, wholly, and uniquely ours. There were so many historical reasons why the Country Bears needed to be fought for. MuppetVision is in the same vein. It is the last work of one of the greatest entertainment geniuses in American history, in Jim Henson. They have to find a home for this. I don't care if it's in a museum. I don't care if it's in the Sunset Showcase Theater. I don't care if it's in the big empty NBA Experience building at Disney Springs. I don't care what the building is. The great thing about the Muppets is they are insane. And so they would open up shop anywhere. So it doesn't matter. Like, thematically, you've got a hall pass here because you can shoehorn this wherever you want and it's really gonna be fine. But you have to. And so my plea is, and I think the plea that people should continue to make on social media, is that the Rock and Roller Coaster area should become the new Muppets courtyard. I think it solves a number of problems, right? You get to draw people into that back corner with Monstropolis and the Monsters, Inc. coaster, and you have Rock and Roller Coaster now. You have a e-ticket attraction, a thrill ride, to pull people into a Muppets area. They're not gonna miss it, right? And so yeah, the theater's a little tucked back there, but I'm sure with the incredible creative minds at Walt Disney Imagineering, we could find a way to get people to mosey from that entrance of Rock and Roller Coaster a few more steps over to a new MuppetVision theater. Look, if we have to, because the money is spent, live through a year or two of this villain show, that's fine. But I think what Disney should proactively do is say, look, the villains thing is a limited time thing until we open a full Villains Land at Magic Kingdom. Once that happens, the villains will take leave and go to Magic Kingdom, and then the Muppets will find this abandoned theater where they will bring MuppetVision back to life. And hell, I will even say this, like, I think it should be the original film, but I don't truly believe that you shouldn't give anyone a shot to try again. If you want to do a new MuppetVision, that would be great too. I'm sure Jim Henson, in the same vein as Walt Disney, wouldn't want their things to sit there stale and stagnant forever either. But the truth is, the MuppetVision film is so historically significant, and I say film, but it really is a full attraction. It has animatronics, it has everything. It has to continue to exist in some way, shape, or form. They have to figure this out, and we should continue to hold Disney's feet to the fire until they do. This is not a case of the Great Movie Ride where I think once you ripped it out, you couldn't really find a way to bring that back. Although I still hold out hope that 10 or 15 years from now we'll come around and realize we should build a Disney Great Movie Ride, but that's neither here nor there. In the case of MuppetVision, it's something that is more easily resurrected. We saw it with Captain EO. That being said, this is a little more complicated than Captain EO because it has animatronics and all these moving parts, but it can be done, and it should be done, and we should not rest until it is done. So let Disney know every time they post about the Monsters, Inc. thing or Rock and Roller Coaster or whatever, a gentle nudge, a reminder that we would like to see MuppetVision return in some way, shape, or form should be said. I think it's such an important part of history. Look, there are some things like, I know I've talked about it, I think the Rivers of America and the riverboat, I think its time has come. The original exists at Disneyland. MuppetVision, this is the original and the only one. So it has to stay alive in some way. It has to. The Rivers of America at Magic Kingdom, the thing we have to understand as Disney World fans is we are the lowest common denominator. We do not make up a majority of the guest pool at Disney World. At Disneyland, the locals do. In Japan and Tokyo Disney, they sure do. In Paris, they even make up a sizable amount of the attendance. But we, as the hardcore fans, make up a very small piece of the puzzle in Florida. And that's the problem, is I understand Disney has to make this work for everybody. But we're also offering a solution that makes it work for everybody. That villain show doesn't need to last forever. And hey, by the way, if it opens and people don't like it, it's a real easy solution too. But yeah, if you're opening a Villains Land at Magic Kingdom, we don't need a villain show too. So I understand people have worked hard on this show. It should get to see the light of day. But if you want to say it's a limited 2 or 3 year engagement and then, tease that the Muppets, are peeking over the wall and waiting for the space to be vacant, that's all we need. Just a promise. Just make us a promise that you are going to find a way for us to continue to experience MuppetVision. It's the right thing to do. It costs you very little, and it means a lot to so many people who want to give you money. We want to give you money. You make it really hard sometimes, Disney. But we do want to give it to you because we love these places and we love going there. But there are a couple things you have to give us in return. One of them is MuppetVision. The other is still a good Figment ride. Been quiet about that for a little while. But there's a couple things we need from you. And if you give us those couple of things, you can do whatever you want with the rest, right? You can do all sorts of exciting new things as long as they're of good quality. And I do believe that the Monsters, Inc. land will be. I have seen enough in the last year to see that the tide has turned, right? This is, in some cases, this is a very Bob Chapek era decision, and it's a little short-sighted and a little silly to close MuppetVision. To move MuppetVision, not a silly decision, a very logical one, but to close it and lock it away forever, it's not the wisest decision. But what I've seen from them the last year between Tiana's Bayou Adventure, what we just saw on The Treasure, what we've seen quality-wise as of late, it is clear the tide has turned a bit, but we're not all the way there. But this is a moment where we have to stop, and I think Disney needs to re-examine the decision they've made and listen to the fans a little bit. But again, I don't need it in the building it existed in. I just need it to exist. Let me know in the comments if you feel the same. But hopefully a resolution will be reached. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation, from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland resorts to the Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. And the best part is their concierge services are 100% free. They are free. So book today. Sorry, I had to catch my breath from ranting for so long. The Mickey toy, don't worry, there's not a whole lot to get angry at the rest of this show. We'll move on. The Mickey Toy Soldier Drummer Sipper that was first released at Disneyland Resort is now available at Walt Disney World for the 2024 holiday season. The Sipper is available at Cosmic Ray's Starlight Cafe and Pinocchio's Village Haas at the Magic Kingdom. So go challenge your stomach to a fight and get a Sipper. At Cosmic Ray's, it's $24.49 total with a choice of assorted Coca-Cola offerings. And at Pinocchio Village Haas, it can be added to any non-alcoholic beverage for $19.69 plus the price of the drink. We now know the full lineup for the Disney on Broadway concert series at the 2025 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts, which will run from January 17th to February 24th. The concerts feature Broadway performers singing music from Disney's hit shows like The Lion King, Newsies, Aladdin, Frozen, and more. The full schedule is available at WDWNT.com. Details on the Disney on Broadway dining packages will be announced later. Disney also revealed some of the Figment merchandise that will be available at the 2025 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts. The Figment merchandise collection will include a festival-exclusive pin, a t-shirt, a Loungefly mini backpack, an ear headband, and a lug crossbody bag. The pin has the purple dragon curled around the EPCOT International Festival of the Arts logo. Figment is pictured multiple times with his colorful footprints and a light bulb on the black tee. The Loungefly bag is a sparkly purple with Figment pictured around a light bulb. And the ears have a similar design of Figment with a light bulb and the festival logo. Figment is pictured next to the logo on the square lug bag as well. The 2025 EPCOT International Festival of the Arts, again, is back January 17th to February 24th. New interactive shoulder banshees are available for adoption in Pandora, the World of Avatar at Disney's Animal Kingdom. Disney shared more details about the new banshees earlier this month, stating they would have updated features. The new banshee accessories are also available. Banshees, aka the Ikran, have been available to adopt from the Rookery in Wind Traders since the land opened back in 2017. Here, a naturalist from Alpha Centauri Expeditions will help guests pick a banshee, and accessories are also available at the Rookery. There are 4 new banshees replacing all the previous ones. Each has a unique color and pattern, and guests can control their movements via wireless remote directing the banshee's head, mouth, and wings. The previous banshees had wired remotes. The figures have authentic sounds provided by Lightstorm Entertainment and glow-in-the-dark bioluminescent features. And when traveling around Pandora, shoulder banshees will notice and communicate with other banshees, including the wrist banshee hatchlings. They'll also react to being pet by their owners. The wireless remote is brown, resembling wood wrapped in rope. It has a canvas wrist strap, and the buttons and switch are blue. Each banshee comes with a magnetic shoulder pad, which guests tuck under their shirt to hold the banshee in place. The plastic clip is to secure the dangling tail, and each banshee includes instructions for using the remote, the shoulder pad, and the clip. The banshees come in those 4 varieties. There's the Thistle Mountain Banshee, the Flame Mountain Banshee, the Aqua Mountain Banshee, and the Sky Mountain Banshee. They're all $89.99 each. The accessories include 3 gear packs, a carrying case, and a display perch. The Wind Traders Clan Banshee gear pack is $19.99. The Omatakaya Clan Banshee gear pack is $19.99. And the Tarangi Clan Banshee gear pack is $19.99 as well. The Banshee carrying case, the new one is $34.99, and the new perch is $34.99 as well. Walt Disney World annual pass holders can pick up a complimentary Mufasa The Lion King print at Disney's Animal Kingdom next month. That's sure to soften the blow of all your favorite rides closing. The custom illustration is by artist and former Imagineer Nicholas Smith. The illustration will be available as a 5x7-inch postcard print depicting young Mufasa with water around him and his rippled reflection showing his older self. Pass holders can pick up the postcard December 8th through the 18th at Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures before it closes. And it'll be available during normal operating hours. There's a limit of 1 postcard per pass holder, and the pass holder must be present and show their annual pass via card, Magic Band, Magic Mobile Pass, or My Disney Experience app, plus a government-issued photo ID. And postcards are available while supplies last. Real quick, I just realized I didn't really talk about Rock and Roller Coaster that much because I was so caught up in MuppetVision. What I want to quickly say is there are people upset about Rock and Roller Coaster, and to that I say, huh? I love Rock and Roller Coaster, and I hate that I love Rock and Roller Coaster because at the end of the day, it is an off-the-shelf roller coaster that they put in a box. That being said, the queue, the pre-show, and the load area are magnificent, and I love them. And I love the general aesthetic. You know, Hollywood Studios is my vibe, and I love that park. What's left of it? Not much. And Rock and Roller Coaster is a big part of that, but at the same time, like, it will still be Rock and Roller Coaster. It will just be Muppets, which is another thing I love. And so Muppet music and Rock and Roller Coaster, the Muppets essentially parodying Rock and Roller Coaster just seems like a lot of fun. I really love this idea. It's great. I will miss Aerosmith being in the attraction. I love it, but I don't think, from day one, I don't think we all sat there and thought, man, that'll be Aerosmith till I die. No, that's not a thing. I never believed that. So I'm amazed it lasted with Aerosmith as long as it did. And the fact is now that we're just, with the Electric Mayhem, and the way they phrased it sounds like there's going to be real music. It may just not be Muppet music. I don't know completely, but I love this concept. I think it's great. I think there's a lot of opportunities for tongue-in-cheek jokes. The Muppet comedy lends itself to a wacky, thrilling roller coaster ride in many ways. I like this idea, and I'm okay with it. And Rock and Roller Coaster can change. It will be okay. Disney Cruise Line's newest ship, the Disney Treasure, was christened in New York this week. We were there to bring you all the coverage. Of course, hopefully you've watched the tremendous drone show that was held in the New York Harbor to christen the ship. It's pretty cool to see Haunted Mansion iconography in the sky in New York. Not something I thought I'd see in my life. But nonetheless, we also were very lucky to be invited to a full tour of the ship. We got to tour all of the new venues. We have a very cool, these are videos. You can also do, you can also read the photo walkthroughs on our website. We got to tour the Haunted Mansion Parlor Bar, the Skipper Society Jungle Cruise Bar, the Periscope Pub, which is the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea bar. We got to see the coffee bars, whether it's the Hey Hey or what is the, I'm forgetting the name of this bar now, the other coffee bars. It's Mulan themed. It's very, very cute. We got to see the atrium. We got to see the Grand Hall, if you will. Much of the ship, and including what blew me away, the Tomorrow Tower Suite, which is a very much EPCOT themed suite in the funnel of the Disney Treasure. It's incredible. Please go watch the tours. Separate. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here on the news talking about the Treasure. Eric and I actually, after we do the news today, are going to record our first impressions of all of those venues and the ship as a whole. Think of it as an early, honest review before we get on the ship in a couple weeks' time. So be sure to check that out, and you can check out all the video content here on the channel and all the post content at wdwnt.com. Disneyland Paris has introduced a new flexible adaptive pricing system for dated tickets, meaning pricing may now change for the same day over time. Dated tickets already vary depending for the date and demand. And for example, Christmas Day and New Year's Eve are two of the most expensive days of the year because of their popularity. And with the new system, pricing for a single day may vary within a fixed range, adapting to demand and seasonality. One day, one park tickets start at €51, while one day, two park tickets start at 76. A one day, two park ticket can be up to €175, as seen for New Year's Eve. Guests can book their tickets up to 18 months in advance, and the ticket price is locked for 60 minutes while a guest books a ticket, so the price won't change between adding it to your cart and checking out. Guests can change their ticket date or get a full refund up to 3 days before their visit. Disneyland Paris revealed details of 3 new Disney boutiques set to open at the Disney Village in the first quarter of 2025. The new stores are part of the ongoing transformation of the Village, which is designed to offer guests a more modern, inviting, and unique experience with a touch of Disney magic. First up, the Lifestyle Boutique offers a wide range of ready-to-wear Disney fashions and accessories. The store features allusions to Edna Mode from The Incredibles infused into the visual identity and decor. Disney Style will have a wide range of products, a section for young adults, and some exclusive pieces. And one corner will be dedicated to customizing a range of items to create a unique look. A range of specially designed products will be inspired by Disney characters, and the boutique will also offer macarons for guests to enjoy between shopping. That's something. Connected to Disney Style is Disney Glamour, which will feature a range of jewelry, clothing, and accessories, including creations by Pandora Jewelry. Special attention was given to the architecture and lighting to showcase the quality of the products on display. Disney Glamour will host capsule collections in collaborations with famous brands as well. And Deco by Disney will offer home products, decorations, and limited edition Disney collectibles, including the Art on Demand service where guests can print Disney art. The store's layout and informal product displays are meant to show how these objects can be displayed in your home. Tokyo Disney Resort released their full event schedule for 2025 and even into early 2026, including the return of Donald's Quacky Duck City and a year-long Duffy the Disney Bear 20th anniversary event. Duffy and Friends 20th Anniversary Colorful Happiness will be held at Tokyo Disney Sea from April 8th through March 19th. That's April 8th of 2025, all the way to March 19th of 2026. It is almost a year long. As previously announced, It's a Small World with Groot. That overlay will be open in Tokyo Disneyland from January 15th through June 30th of next year. Donald's Quacky Duck City will return to Tokyo Disneyland from April 8th through June 30th of 2025 with an enhanced event. Of course, if you watch the Tokyo vlogs this year, you are very, very well aware of Donald's Quacky Duck City. And during the same period, Tokyo Disneyland will present the limited time special version of Star Tours. The adventures continue, featuring new characters and a new planet. That, of course, will be those Ahsoka scenes that we had added several months ago. They'll finally be getting those. After that period ends, the new scenes will be incorporated into the attraction and, again, be completely at random. The second ever Tokyo Disney Sea Food and Wine Festival will be returning April 8th through June 30th. We have a full review of last year's up here on the channel if you want to watch it. Summer programs will return to Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea as well from July 2nd through September 15th. These include Baymax's Mission Cool Down, Get Soaked in Toontown, Get Soaked Splash Mountain, and Get Soaked Aquatopia. The Get Soaked Splash Mountain announcement would indicate we have quite a bit of time left to enjoy Splash Mountain. Obviously, it will be open for that event through the summer, so maybe we have at least a full year left of that attraction, if not more. Halloween will be September 17th through October 31st of 2025, a little bit longer next year. And Disney Christmas will be November 11th through December 25th of 2025. And the special New Year's event will be January 1st through the 12th of 2026. There are more details for all of these events. We're not going to read them all here on the show. It's a long episode. But if you go to WDWNT.com, we have all the details on that enhanced Quacky Duck City. And the Duffy event has a lot to it. There's a lot more detail to all of these. So if you're planning a trip, you might want to check that out. And I am absolutely going to have to return for Quacky Duck City. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the show and the team behind it by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, including tickets to this show and also our event in January, Promising Tomorrow, celebrating 50 years of Space Mountain and beyond. A special shout out to all of our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. Of course, if you do want tickets to this show or WW News Tonight, they're available at events.wwnt.com. If you'd like to buy your streaming ticket or your in-person tickets for Promising Tomorrows this coming January, more information on the event and tickets are available at spacemountain50.com. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.